Hello, this is a Gold 5 Sigma and Junker Queen VOD review. The post on this mentions they wanted it to be reviewed because it would ended up being a heartbreak loss and they broke their win streak. And if you notice, I'm actually on the other tank here. When you said you mainly played Sigma, they were on Sigma first map, so I ended up following them by mistake. But I did end up seeing that, well, let's just watch and see what they do. They notice you're using the healing ability, they kite you. They bait Briggs' ultimate, set up the hook, go for you because you've used your healing ability. Get the Kiriko, good shot, and headshot. So this tank does this multiple times on this game. They're pretty good, so don't be demoralized. Sometimes the best you can do while climbing is an 80% win rate, and I don't know exactly how matchmaking handles it, but you can get the win streak modifier even if you're not winning every single game. You're allowed to, I think, lose a few in your last 20 and still get it. And if anyone knows exactly, you can comment it. But don't be demoralized. This tank is pretty good. I would just... we'll go over the fights that you could have done things better. A third of them are just them dominating and being playmakers and getting all these hooks and shots, but there were a few fights. So we'll end up starting with your Junker Queen. And go back to you. And you used the shout early here. You were in no danger. The shout is a long cooldown, so you want to make sure to really use it to... When you're ready to go in, cross some open ground, go for axes and eliminations. Because if you notice, a good opportunity is going to come up in 5 seconds, and it's a 12-second cooldown. But the barrier is broken, that's a good sign. He rocks you early. A lot of these tank matchups this game, it's going to be Hog Sigma, Junker Queen Sigma. The rock's a really important ability for you to track as well. And once he rocks you, this would be a good time to shout an axe. The shout's 150 health towards you. The axe, it's not written down anywhere, but it's 100 health over a few seconds you get from the bleed. You heal yourself. So this would be great time to go in. He's got low barrier, no rock. Oh, and the Baptiste is going to feed himself to you. So this is really an axe opportunity. I know you're timid, there are a lot of people out there, but that's what the shout's for. It's to give you that 150 HP to do something crazy and go in, land an ability, and heal yourself some more. So this was a great time to be going in. And good knife, sometimes it just trolls and they go pop up way high. And that is another early shout. Your Moira and your Ana definitely had you there. So you could have played safe, got healed, and then looked for a chance to shout in. And he uses rock early again. It would be great if same thing, same concept. Now you shout, now you axe, and shout and go in and start tearing things up now that he's used his rock early. And this Baptiste is just begging to be knifed. He barriers behind you to block the healing, though. Good job recognizing that. That's something most golds usually don't do as well. But Baptiste is begging to be knifed. The knife's on a 5-second cooldown, by the way. There are a lot of times this game where you let it sit. It's the opposite of shout. It's on a 5-second cooldown, so you can just chuck those things. And had you knifed him, he would have been knifed out of his own immortality field, so that would have saved you a step. Oh, well, you did own that sentry turret. And an axe again, not only would get the elim on the Hanzo, it heals you, which you definitely want the extra 100 HP. Oh, just a little slow on the uptake, but good, still good play.
The Queen! Come here, I'm getting the objective.
And you at least distract him, so it's still a decent play. We'll go to the next area.
you, Gracie.
Good job going in for the axe and the shout.
No time for work. Move out.
And he's full health, and you really can't. The knife's not going to cancel the flux. Yeah, that giving them the 50 health from shout is really all you could have done. Which his lift does 50, but so you didn't see it. But you gave them the 50 health that the lift 50 damage took away. But now you would just go for his backup. Go for the Cassidy, the Baptiste, or the Mercy if she doesn't fly up into the air. But you're not going to be able to kill this Sigma before his ult lands. You just want to go for everyone else. Because he can't rock you or block you while he's ulting at least, so you can probably get 2 kills. You're a 700 HP monster. But you sort of miss the chance. Ash gets res too. That's another thing. By turning your back and letting all 3 of them have such an easy time, they could res too. But then we're gonna skip ahead to the next fight. And they're on low ground. A lot of times in gold they will be low ground. The Ashe and the Cass were low ground, so their tank had no choice but to follow them. But you do have a chance. Junker Queen's not the greatest tank for second point, but if they're going to play like this, there will be openings. Good job fishing with the knife. It's a short cooldown. He's used rocks. That's another good sign. Really, you could be shouting in and axing right now. He's used rock, and his barrier's low. And you're healing yourself, more resulting. I just want to go third person. You got to learn to trust yourself and be confident, even though you're playing against a really good other tank. Okay, there we go. It took a few seconds, but you landed a good axe. You're more resulting. You just got to be ready the times you get an opening to go, because they almost with the Baptiste window stabilized here. If they had kited a little faster and maybe your Sigma was better with or their Sigma was better with the rock, they almost got away with it. But I just want to be a lesson. You have to recognize the good times to go. Even if it might not work out, just do the high percentage plays. Queen's going to die sometimes because you got to cross the open and go for axes and knives. So that being said, we'll go to the next area. Okay, we're indoors. They've swapped Zarya, so you're doing something right. If they're swapping. This is another case you have to recognize the knife's on a really short cooldown. If you knife this Zarya because she's used her bubbles, this is an easy elim, and you can keep the snowball rolling. You don't even go for it, which is why I mark this as an area. Also, it's not good to be standing so far out in the open as Junker Queen. You don't have that much health as other tanks. But you do end up going in and cleaning this up, so. Okay, now we're on defense. They're going hog and really cleaning up. But this is another case where you have to be aware of the abilities of the other tank and track them, because the hook will cancel your Sigma ult, and hooking in front of this guy, we'll just go to his point of view. You know they're a good hog player, and they're just their aim's really good. You ult right in front of him. And that's good tracking, to be fair. A lot of golds would miss that with you flying upwards like that, but they're not going to let you get away with it, so that's another thing where you have to be more aware of what the other tank's abilities are and track them. Okay, now we're going on the retake to save point 2. Good job playing the corners and breaking the hook. This is your chance to go in. Even if you lose, the payload's going to sit here for 10 seconds while the doors open, so there's no reason not to go for this retake. I just want you to know this was your chance to at least try and go in, put a barrier up, try and do something. And you could have just straight up left the Bob too, had you all flooded out, so... Even if you sit here, absorb the Bobs, using Grasp in front of the Hog is going to get you hooked, obviously, again, because it's back off cooldown while you waited. But even if you use the Suck, get all the HP, the payload's in, so it doesn't matter. Okay, and actually there was a another one backwards. Okay, so you lost 2. This is back to first point defense. And when you lose 2, their Hog, they're going to just run straight forward. They know they have an advantage, you're down 2. They're going to punish you a lot harder than most other tanks would. But once 2 people get picked, it's time to... I'd be backing up now. Just go to Cafe, maybe here or up here. And try and slow them down while your teammates come back, because winning a 3v5 is just not going to happen. But good job when you cross the open ground, you shield, so that was good as far as not getting hooked. Slow him down. And so this would probably be enough in most gold games. Most tanks aren't going to keep charging because they know they have a 5-second window here. But I would keep the shield up and focus on the follow-up. You have to trust this Ana will either run away or sleep dart and save herself, because you're not it's going to take 10 plus seconds to kill this Hog. And this Cassidy is really bold, so he'd be a good target. The Ashes come forward if you keep the shield up. So this going for this Hog, it was a mistake. And I think you get a little too cute trying to like block the primary fire. You have to trust your support to some extent and really not focus so much on the Hog. Because they've taken all the space at this point when you focused on Hog, instead of getting the Cass and the... Oh, sorry, that's a Moira, not an Ashe. Okay, and now we'll jump forward. You had a good attack on Reinhardt. And on third point, you just got completely rolled on that clip I showed at the beginning. So we're going to skip third point defense. You get a good offense on Reinhardt.
Match.
Okay, now we're going to go, you're on defense on Sigma. So it's your turn to be the Sigma on defense. First point. And that's another, you did the same mistake where you rocked early. You're going to want that rock if he starts healing himself, or if he hooks someone else, the rock will interrupt him. So you don't want to give that up. And being the tank they are, they're immediately going to pick up on this and start going aggressive.
Barrier is splintering.
So that's rock, that's barrier. He is just straight, he is being decisive because he's probably a smurf, but... This would be a good chance. As soon as you saw that, when they dump their pig pen like that, that's code for I'm going for a hook. So a barrier or a rock, either of the two. And once this Ana dies, that's pretty much the fight. You're not going to be able to turn it. And let's go to the very end of the game. because you had that good Reinhardt attack, you actually make this pretty close. It's good you made this as close as you did. But this Reaper's coming in. You drop the barrier, which is fine. But that rock, that's really an early rock. The Reaper has fade. It's a little too soon. And you're going to focus on the Reaper, which is fine. You can do two things in Sigma. You can shield off everyone in front of you, and then turn to get the Reaper, but you lose your awareness, and obviously their hog is going to pick up on this immediately.
60 seconds remaining.
So there should have been a barrier here while you focused on the Reaper, because he's already used Wraith, so at least you and Torb may have gotten the limb. But that was just an awareness thing. You almost stole this win, which is really impressive. But I think those fights I focused on, the Junker Queen especially, the better shout, the axes, going for more knives because of the cooldowns. Sigma taking better care of your rock, especially in this matchup. Not using your ultimate in front of Hog with his hook, and just being aware of the other tank's cooldowns, because in this hook and rock, there's such big cooldowns in the tank v tank matchup, which unfortunately they were able to win more times than not. But if you take that advice, again, don't be discouraged. This other tank was really good, and if you make those changes, I think you'll keep going on your win streak. So good luck.